Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and we're going to continue the coverage of the Israeli conflict, world war that's going on. Uh, I normally respect your guys' time, and I try and make 10, 15, sometimes 20-minute videos. Usually, the 20 minutes is when I rant. I try and make them 10, 12, no more than 15 minutes because I know your time is valuable and all that. So I try and keep it to one page of notes. I got two complete pages of notes, and really I could have went on. There is a lot of head scratching data points that I need to make. I want to jump right into this. I want to try and keep a lot of my opinionated stuff to a minimum, so this doesn't run to 45-minute video. So I'm gonna jump right into this, and we'll just go. We'll take it from there. Okay. So real quick before I do this, I have to make a correction. I told you guys that if I say something on here and it turns out that I'm wrong, I will admit it because I'm human. I can be wrong. Sometimes I do get bad intel. So I said yesterday that the U.S. successfully launched an ICBM, which they did. It launched, but it turns out it was a failure. There was a anomaly during mid-flight, and they had to terminate in midair. So that is the official statement. It did successfully lift off and launch and fly, but apparently it failed in mid test. So, correction to that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was incorrect on that. So, moving on, again, in no particular order, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard has posted a video. This is a simulation video of an attack on the Israeli nuclear facility in Dimona. Now, they posted a picture of it the other day where they had kind of a sky view and missiles going down. Now, this is a actual computer simulated video of an attack on it. So they're up in their game, getting more aggressive and their little posts and things. Would they do it? I don't know. The thing is they're talking about it, and that's a bit concerning. Hopefully, something like that will never ever happen. We already discussed this in the other videos. It's one of those ones I wish it wouldn't even be discussed, but it is. So, data point. Next, France has deployed its Barracuda class nuclear powered attack submarine to the Mediterranean. So now you're sending even more naval assets. So, there's already a ton of ships. I think I went over the list of what's all in there. There is a massive amount of military presence in the Red Sea and the Mediterranean right now. Um, And then now there's reports that have come out that North Korea has either sent or is in the process. I believe it's in the process of sending up to 1 million missiles and other various weapons to Hamas. Now that's concerning. Okay, but again, everybody's supplying everybody. When these all break out between Russia and Ukraine, everybody's picks a side and starts tossing them money and supplies and aid and weapons and everything else. So this one's not going to be any different. Everybody's picking their side and sending things that they can help their side win. Um, Next is in Afghanistan, the Islamic Emirate demanded the opening of roads so its forces can reach Palestine and join in the war. So now you have more of these factions and groups and whatever we call them. They're openly going, it's not a support. It's not like, hey, we're with you. They are geared up and they've got everything packed away and they're going, hey, we're right here. Open the road. We want to go and get into this. They want involved, and that's not posturing. That's actions. They want through so they can do this. So um, keep an eye on another data point. Um, Intel Sky on X or Twitter posted about a possibility of a ceasefire to be announced soon by Israel to prevent an all-out attack on Friday. Now, uh, to remind you, we've been saying this pretty much all week that the leader of Hezbollah is supposed to make an announcement at 1500 or 3 p.m. their local time. And there's been a bunch of different groups and factions and whatever over there that have basically said, Friday at 3 if there's another bullet fired or missile or anything happens after 3 p.m. Friday, then it's game over, gloves are off, everybody's coming in. And it's no different today. Hezbollah actually posted another one of their little teaser videos about the speech for Friday, and the, underneath it had the caption of, quote, the next 24 hours will be very important. So they released it about 3 p.m. their time, and they're basically saying, hey, you've got 24 hours for our ultimatum. So I'm not causing any panic. Okay, this is not a time of running around or freaking out or going and doing stupid emotional things. But this is a time to have a little higher awareness and a head on a swivel that there is potential for something extremely bad to happen. So just be aware. Okay, that's a huge part in this, is having the awareness and the situational awareness of what's going around you immediately, and that circle thing, your inner circle, the bigger circle, going out, because something major happens and it's going to affect you here on the homeland. So, and to my viewers that are in Australia and Canada and all the other places, you're much closer to this conflict potentially, and so this is something that you have to take and keep in mind and be aware of this. So, uh, about that ceasefire today, the IDF confirmed, publicly confirmed, that they have completely encircled and surrounded Gaza City. So now we're in that whole thing. The timing of this is really, really odd, that you almost could see both sides working against each other, that Israel is moving this way to kind of basically get a very big stronghold. If they can take Gaza City down, then that's a huge, huge thing. It's a big win for them and a really big loss for the other side. Now, the people that's helping Hamas seems to have war gamed this out and said, well, given this and that, it should probably be somewhere about Friday, late Thursday, sometime on Friday, when they will get in there and encircle it. So is this all talk, to maybe slow them down or prevent them from doing this? Is it real? It's really odd of all the timing of this. Um, it's also, there's reports that Syria has sent or has transferred some of its special battalions down to the Golan Heights, so right there along the border. Uh, so there's more and more military and more that's kind of posturing. All the pieces of the chessboard is all kind of moving into place. Let me switch over to page 2 of the notes now to get an idea of U.S. military presence. Now, we're not counting special forces, we're not counting any of the aircraft or any of the um, U.S. military people that are on any of the naval warships or any of the things out of the sea. So, this is open source data of the number of deployed military personnel per country in that area. So Oman, we have about 200. In Syria, we have about 900. In Turkey, we have 1,900. In Iraq, we have about 2,500. Saudi Arabia, we have about 2,700. In Jordan, we have about 3,000. In the UAE, we have about 3,500. In Qatar, we have about 8,000. In Bahrain, we have about 9,000. In Kuwait, we have 13,500. Now, I didn't include Israel because it's unconfirmed. We have no idea how many we have in Israel. We know there's people there. We know that for a fact, but there's no official anything there. So, you add all them thousands of people up, plus all the ones that are on heightened alert, plus the ones that are over there in Europe, plus the ones on these warships. We have 40, 50, 60,000 troops over in that area. So I don't know. There is now reports that Wagner is in the process of transferring an air defense system to Hezbollah. So again, it's one of those ones. You get those people that, oh, nothing's going to happen. It's all just talk. Nothing make why do we have all this stuff in the area? Why is all these other countries sending the stuff in the area? Why is Wagner sending an air defense if nothing's going to happen? This is all just little pieces. You start taking all these little things and putting little pieces of the puzzle together. Um, Now, here's one that's kind of interesting, and I almost missed this one. The Algerian parliament has just voted and gave the president of Algeria the authority to go to war against Israel. This was a small, little, tiny story that I almost missed. I just happened to see out of the corner of my eye. I was like, wait, did I read that right? Clicked on it, looked at it. Sure enough, there's a little link, had video right there. I there's more people right there. Um, Another one that I found interesting: the Russian AN 124 cargo plane. And if you don't know what that is the world's largest cargo plane. Has flown back and forth between Russia and Kaliningrad every day, there and back, for the last 4 days in a row that I can track. And so it's another one of those little head scratching data things. What is so huge that it's either the item is big or you're sending a bunch of items? What's so heavy? What's the quantity? What is on that is so urgent that you have to take the amount of money and everything else to get that plane to do this? What is it that you couldn't put it on a ferry or a military boat or even just a train? There's something odd about it. If it went there and back one time, whatever, data point, put it over here. Every day for 4 days in a row, it's a head scratcher. So keeping my eye on that. Plus, they wanted it to be seen because I can track it. It's open source information. They wanted it to be seen. So that's an extremely important data point. Let's see. So I saw this one today. So there was an article out that the U.S. government is scrambling to prepare based on the rumors for the events on Friday that there is a huge possibility of a cyber attack on American infrastructure and other related things. I don't know what that means in the article, uh, by Iran. So apparently, in this is there's not going to be a ceasefire. 3 o'clock on Friday is going to happen, and in an effort, instead of Iran getting involved militarily, like actual kinetic involved, that they're using their military cyber unit and they're going to try and disrupt American homeland to try and keep us out of it while the other factions, move in a more physical, kinetic way. So, panic, no. It's one of those things you should probably, be aware of this, that there is a potential. Not going to say it's going to happen because who knows? None of this may not happen at all, but there is a chance that there might be some major cyber stuff tomorrow. So just be aware of it. Don't freak out. Don't panic. I'm not out here trying to sell you anything or scare you. It is just a kind of like a weather report. Hey, there's a chance of rain, so maybe take an umbrella or something like that. There's a chance that there may be a major cyber attack tomorrow. So just be aware of it. So, um, you know what? That's most of the main headlines. I'm going to cover one more thing that I want to get to before I kind of wrap all this up. So, we talked about all these little pieces of the puzzle. So, you have all this stuff, with the speech coming on Friday. Okay, so that's a piece of the puzzle. You have the Marines that canceled their Marine Ball. It's kind of an unheard of thing. They've done it in the past, yes, and especially during the CV-19er, that they canceled it for that. But really, before that, they really never canceled it. So this is a really big deal for them. And they just abruptly canceled it. Kind of a no notice thing, which is kind of odd. So I'm going to do this last one, and this will kind of put some more pieces of the puzzle together. So apparently today, it is, well, not apparently, it's actually been announced. So the U.S. Army, unexpectedly, no notice whatsoever, has just told 800 non-commissioned officers that they have to report to recruiting school in Fort Knox in the next 6 days. Think about that for just a second, okay? If you're military, if you're not military, I'll explain it to you as quickly and best I can. But if you're military, think about this while I explain this. No notice whatsoever, okay? We can't hit our recruiting numbers in basically every branch of the military. Why do you need 800 so quickly during school season? So school's in session, you're uprooting your family, you have a 6 day notice to move across the country in some of these aspects. 6 days to just uproot everything and report. And during holiday, you got to think, in just a couple of weeks, it's Thanksgiving, a few more weeks, it's Christmas. The military does not usually do any of this stuff. That's a big major, kind of a no-go for that. You don't do that to your soldiers. And then I was even reading into it that some of these people were like, well, wait a second, I can't go to, recruiting school. I don't meet the qualifications. And they said, no, no worries. We're dropping a lot of the minimum requirements. So it gets weirder and weirder as we get into this story. Why, when you can't meet the numbers with the recruiters that you have, suddenly with no notice need 800 recruiters during school season, during holiday time, with hardly no notice to go report so they can be trained by the end of the year? Okay, they want these people pushed through and everything by the end of the year. Why would you need that? Okay, now, not trying to steal anything, but Southern Prepper One put out a video about this. I was actually watching his while I was taking my notes and reading the article. Kind of an odd coincidence, but um, if you like what he said, you put your tinfoil hat on for a second. For me, there's two things a recruiter does. One, you recruit people, and the second thing is after you recruit them, you process their paperwork. Well, if we can't meet our requirement goals right now and we can't recruit people, well, then what's their second job? Processing. So I'm not saying it's going to 1,000% happen, but it's really pushing forward right now that a draft looks very, very likely. That is not a thing to panic. It's not a thing to scare. That is a data point to be aware of and start putting these pieces of the puzzle together. Things look extremely likely. Now, again, this is kind of like a weather report. This over here on the radar and this, it's all indicating. And just because there's a whole bunch of indications doesn't mean that you're going to have a major storm hit your house. So, I'm just pointing out some of these things. I could be totally wrong, and everything calms down, which I hope is what happens. Remember, I'm not here trying to sell you anything. I'm not pushing anything. I'm not trying to make any money. My channel is not monetized. Mine is giving you some headlines. You do with it with what you want. I'm telling you where I'm coming from, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, by all means, go down there to the comments and let me know. But let me walk through this one last time with you before I wrap this all up. If we can't hit our stuff and we can't get our people, then why do we need so many at a very rushed stage all of a sudden while canceling a military ball due to operational, an ongoing operations right now. Why do we have the biggest naval fleet since World War II? Why do we have all these threats coming all over the place? Why is it that everything's going off all over the place? I mean, you have major players, and I'm watching other channels, I'm reading other people, and I'm gathering everybody's kind of, as all these events are unfolding. This is unprecedented. This never happened before. You know, whenever World War I, World War II, all these other things, even go back to Desert Storm, if you're old enough, which wasn't terribly long ago. You didn't really watch it live. They showed you kind of same day or maybe the next day, and that was kind of the best you got. Now you can literally go right here on YouTube and type in whatever live cam, and you can watch some of this. You can listen to bombs being dropped, to gunfire in the distance. You can literally watch some of these social medias because some of these guys, for whatever dumb reason, want to go live on their social media and show them walking around and doing things. You can literally watch war live right now. And this is unprecedented. So we're definitely at a very unique point in time. And this is one of those ones that you really need to take it serious right now. This isn't a grab every credit card and go max out your 401k and all. I'm not saying that absolutely at all. Not a financial advisor. I'm not even telling you to panic or do anything. What I'm saying is there's a lot more pieces of the puzzle that's becoming visible. The puzzle is not looking good at all. Do what you need to do. I can't tell you to run out and go buy 50 pallets of water. Maybe your water's good. I can't tell you what to do. That is your decision. Mine is to bring you and let you think for yourself. This has always been mine for the new preppers. If you are an experienced prepper, then you already know what you're doing. If you're a medium range, that mid level prepper, you've been doing this for a year or two, all that, this is the time to maybe go back to the basics, go back through your stuff, buckle down. If you're brand new to this, I know this can become very overwhelming very quickly. Relax, deep breath. Emotions make mistakes. Don't make mistakes. Don't rush. I just posted something on my Facebook page that says that prepping is not a race, it's a lifestyle. So you are never going to take and win a scratch off ticket and take $2 million and go buy everything that you need and go, well, I'm done. I won prepping. It doesn't work that way. Okay. It's a lifestyle. And so I'm hoping that you join the community of prepping. There's a lot of great people here. Everybody, for the most part, there's a lot of great people. There's always the bad and apples in the bunch of no matter what it is, whether it's teachers or military or police or whatever. There's always bad apples in every little thing. But for the most part, the prepping community wants to help each other, and so hopefully that's you, and hopefully I can bring some information. I can bring you some value. I can bring you something to get you started. It's the whole point of this. So if you made it this far, hey, congratulations. Thank you. You guys are the whole reason I do this. Every day, everything seems to be growing and doing well. We're getting a lot of feedback and a lot of other things that seem to be in a very positive light. So I really appreciate that. If you did make it this far, I'm going to be releasing a Pew Pew review video tomorrow. So make sure you check that out because you guys really love that. And then maybe Saturday, if not, then Sunday, I'm going to be releasing the video on the giveaway for Christmas. And so it'll go through everything in the package about it. Um, and you'll be able to see what the prize actually is. So enough of me rambling. Do all the fun YouTube things. Hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so that way you can be notified of all the future content we put out. Go check us out on Facebook. I don't know why I did. Some of you wanted some merchandise. I don't know why. So there is a link down there in the description section of a couple of things. I think there's some t-shirt, coffee mugs, things, some stickers and whatnot. And I tried to make everything as cheap as I possibly could. Um, so there's that. If you want it, great. If you don't, I, it's there. Okay. So appreciate you guys. More information to come. Remember to remain united. We're all prepping in this together.